one of your weekly hosts, Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable. And if you hang around long enough today, you might just get encouraged. We're joined by Tara Priolo Studio.
And other times I have two last names, which is Priolo Studio. But mostly I'm just Tara, if anybody chooses to call me by my name, which is pretty rare. Most people don't call me Tara. This link, share it watching a football game, because we had been talking about AI. And maybe it wasn't during the football game. No, I think it was during the football game. It doesn't matter. This says, pressing buttons on a computer is an art, screamy face, or like fear face. I don't actually know what that's called. Unless you're a musician, upside down smiley face. Auto-tune, cool. DJs, artists. Sampling, iconic. No one cared when one Roland keyboard replaced an entire orchestra. Hand clappers became desolate. Triangle players never recovered. As a musician, I've seen tech embraced. As a designer, I've watched people act like Canva made them pros. This isn't new. The tools change. The panic stays the same. Make art or don't, but stop pretending the computer is the problem. And I've just seen too much of a conversation about AI. What I was telling Dr. Flo yesterday is that a lot of it feels very disingenuous. And I understand, I get that people are scared of losing their jobs. I get it. But I also understand that we are under a capitalistic, fascistic regime that no one has money to pay you anyway. Or very few people do have money to pay a graphic artist, what they may want to get paid, and the timeline may be a significant period of time. So why not learn how to use Canva, or why not learn how to give AI a good prompt? And every once in a while, AI does not give us the greatest answers to our prompts. Dr. Flo said this morning, I want to read it. Put it back up. The ways y'all rail against AI tells me that you are addicted to the struggle. AI is a tool that makes every art form efficient and a higher quality. Stop tripping. Love your favorite AI doll baby Flo. Lighten the fuck up. YOLO. Yeah. And you know what I realized last night? It was late last night. It was after the Discord room. I was scrolling, and I think I reshared it on my threads. Someone had posted well, I'm an artist, or I'm a graphic artist, and I hate AI. But if you want to do the doll trend, here's some templates. Then provide us something. That's one of the things, that we talk about every so often. Every so often we long to steal to the land of what might have been. But that doesn't soften the ache we feel when reality sets back in. Anyway, one of the gripes I have when I start talking about capitalism is when people are like, so what's the solution then? Right? And so one of my gripes with people that are so against AI. And again, I understand all of the reasons that y'all are saying AI bad. I get it. I understand. I understand. But most of y'all aren't providing any solutions. And most of you all, as Dr. Flo pointed out last night, are also engaging in poor habits. I'm really glad I have a pointer today. I feel very like I should have a
Laviosa.
A chalkboard behind me or something.
Whiteboard always is how I have always seen.
I'm really truly thinking about investing in one, which is $20 or less. Anyway, it's not an investment.
I promise you, Office Depot or Office Max or wherever, I'm Amazon would love
one in this bucket that's sitting over here. Because I used to have one for the kids when I would teach in the summers. Anyway, y'all engage in other things that are also really horrible for the environment. And by the time, and we've talked about this in terms of the boycotts, by the time you remove everything from your life that is harmful, you would literally have to be one of the uncontacted tribe people. I don't think most of you all are willing to do that. So stop yelling at other people. And I see this argument from some of the same people that are saying things about AI and being so poo-poo about AI. They're like, like that you're punching sideways or punching down instead of punching at the system. Like, punch at the idea that these oligarchs and these billionaires are the ones controlling the AI, and let's take that power back instead of yelling at the people using AI. That's a weird choice to make. It's a weird choice to make. That's it. AI is here. You don't have to use it. Abortion is here. You don't have to get one. Butt sex is here. You don't have to have it.
You do not have to have it, folks. Trust me, it's a commitment, and you do not have
You
to
do not have
it.
to do anything you don't want to do. Tattoos have been here. You don't have to get one. Like, dang, folks. But I guarantee you, if you use Google, you have used AI. You've used AI. So are you going to avoid? Okay, let me be done.
You don't have to be done. I just think that the people who I see railing against AI were the people who did not like the pathway to their creative expression from the beginning. They never liked making a song analog and experiencing and also experimenting with all of the ways in which you could play within those frameworks and boxes and tools. So I find a lot of the people who are complaining about AI to be people who complain about everything else as well. You know? And they're not going to take the time to go and learn it. You know, I'm interested in the templates you were talking about and where to find those so I can make my doll.
I'm gonna put it in the general chat. I'll go find it because it's on my page. I haven't been on Threads this morning, so
Y'all just saw my Threads rant that was pasted on the screen. All I'm gonna say is, be still when you're out here in these internet streets. Make sure that you have your center. Let's see what they're saying out here in the world. Constantly having a condescending attitude should not be your social media presence, babes. Said to nobody in particular. Shirley Ralph says, remember, you are stronger than you think. Embrace your strength and let it lead you. Bees_US says, gatekeepers open gates too. Some people deserve to see free of charge. Nina Turner, Ohio says, we are still not shopping at Target. Is that true, Tara?
girl, I'm sure some people are. I think the boycotts are still going on. Target is reporting losses, but and people are, cheering like yay. And then I saw something the other day that was a parent of a 19-year-old who got black man who got fired from Target because of low sales. And so and this is where we talked about weeks and weeks ago when these started, that there is no care infrastructure. A lot of people are acting so irresponsibly, assuming that just because we boycott and maybe a business closes, but you have nowhere for those workers to go. You have no way to help their livelihood, right? There is oh, we just got a blurb from our friend Angie. She says she's back. She must have gotten the new phone.
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope she's okay. I want the story.
I want the whole scoop.
But yeah, so I know there's people still boycotting. I know there's people that were like, oh, I didn't really need it anyway. I'm like, yes, boycott consumerism. That is a problem here in the United States. A lot of people went to Target to just wander around and get things that they didn't need. Right. Or practicing responsible consumerism, because we do live in capitalism, and we do have to pay for the things that we need, right, to survive, which is unfortunate. Because there are so many different ways that we could have played it. But yeah, so I know there's people still boycotting Target. I'm sort of like, shop where you need to shop, girl. Like, if Target is your favorite, and quite frankly, Target's eggs have been the cheapest for the last 10 weeks. So just saying. Anything else fun on the threads?
Folks are going on to say, let's be done with the AI dolls by tomorrow, please. Rue TF13, who I follow, says, find your tribe, be genuine even when it bothers people.
Agreed.
David Sosa, who I know from New York City, says, craving a Justin Maharaj lasagna.
What's that?
What y'all don't know is this Nuka is Italian at heart. It don't make no sense how good that thing is. So I'm going over here and I'm plugging in. Okay. I have no clue what he's talking about, because when I Google what it is, the first thing that comes up is threads. It's his thread from a day ago. Which
Maybe
means
it's
that also threads
person.
are threads like the first hit out in the wild when it comes to us now. Is that what they're
Mayhaps.
doing?
Mayhaps. I don't know. What should we look up?
You know me. Yeah, threads is trending high. Threads is trending high now. I just Googled my handle.
Oh, I Googled just my name, and threads doesn't even show up on the first page. Let me Google my handle. Y'all can do this too. It's a good exercise. Oh, wow. Still, yeah, no threads. My threads do not trend. Oh, second to last on the first page if I Google my handle.
Yep, right below TikTok.
My below Tickety Talks. And then my Instagram and my website are the top hits, which is fun. It's fun. Anyway, good times. Okay, this was something you posted. And I just wanted to, I was wanting to dig in your brain a little bit more, and wondering if you could talk about it a little bit. And I thought maybe we could talk about some of the levels that pop out to us on today. I saw it again this morning when I was looking for things to bring to threads. So this is the emotional pyramid of needs. I think it's by Susan. There was a credit on it that I accidentally took out. Susan somebody. Okay. So if we go from the bottom to the top, those of you that are listening audio only, it says gentle acceptance, compassion. Let me actually read the little things that are right next to it. Gentle acceptance. It is what it is. Compassion. Meet yourself where you are. This applies to others too. Routine. Create pockets of healthy routine and let go of what you cannot control. Connection. Nurture relationships. Community is essential to well-being. Courage. Stay open to tough emotions. They can help you identify what matters most. Reset. Cultivate values-based habits. And the top of the pyramid is wisdom. Life's beauty is inseparable from its fragility.
Yeah, I just love this when I saw it. We were having a conversation throughout our network. I believe it was like a weekend room of a morning chat with Dr. Flo over on Clubhouse, social audio, and the community was talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Of course, I looked that up, and that immediately primed my algorithm into all kinds of pyramids. And I really like this one because we know we got to eat, we know we got to survive, we know Maslow well, but often in the process of taking care of our physical needs, which is a singular component of Maslow, we neglect all of the many layers of what we need to be okay emotionally. And I am so loved and cared for. So most of my needs right now are not physical. There certainly is an opportunity for growth and expansion, but I don't have major physical needs right now. Most of my needs are emotional. And it's important to know, folks, what your needs are and what they're not, because people will give you all sorts of things, all kinds of advice, all kinds of conversation. But if it's not what you need, sometimes you don't feel like your life is fulfilled. What I need right now is gentle acceptance. I know I'm going to eat because I'm provided for and loved on and cared about and earning and growing. However, gentle acceptance, that compassion, that need for a healthy routine, daily connection, daily sourcing of energy within myself and also people around me that encourage courage for the life that I say that I want. And then this idea that we could completely set aside who we were yesterday. We do a lot of that around here in the network. Thanks for watching over on TikTok as well. I'll see you, James. We do a lot of that in the network. We're not afraid to become someone new. We're not afraid to build something new. We're not afraid to download an app and delete another one. Like, I'm trying to figure out which app I want Tara to get off of her phone so that she can play another game with me. We haven't made that decision yet. But we're becoming new. And it's mostly through the renewing of our minds. Have you decided today that you would like to renew your mind? We talk a lot about recycling, which is a sham we've discovered in our community. But when was the last time you recycled your thoughts? When was the last time you said, you know what? I would like to be more positive on this particular subject. I would like to be more optimistic and more hopeful in this area. I would like to volunteer more. I would like to express myself more. I would like to say no more to the things that do not serve me. When was the last time that you allowed yourself to have that reset? A lot of people are so attached, Tara, to who they are. You know, they're quick to tell you, especially the people who are in their 30s and 40s, I've always been this way. I've been this way a long time. I've been this way a long time. But what if the way that you've been a long time is not serving you today? It may be a good opportunity to lean into this emotional pyramid of needs and lean into the reset part. And then I love the wisdom. And I love its explanation. Life's beauty is inseparable from its fragility. We are not in control of a damn thing. Everything about us and everything about life is a free fall. And I know that is just so scary at times. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What's it going to take, Dr. Flo, to dwell in the beauty of life and how fragile it can be moment to moment? This crazy little thing called love. Speaking of love and its interesting presentation, Justice for Charles McNair bumped into me in Aldi. And of course, Charles is not out. He's been in jail for 44 years and no one seems to care about it. I did see Governor Stein breaking ground and a bunch of photo ops on the news a couple nights ago. They are clearly in a bubble and they do not care about Charles, but I do. And I won't get you into the details of the whole story of how I encountered the executive director of his 501c3. However, I will tell you that there's no indication that these folks are really, really empowered to do everything they can for him. And maybe they're doing the best that they could in the moment. But there's so much more to be done. And all I'll say on this, Tara was on TikTok when I encountered Wanda. posting your flowery words on Facebook about justice for Charles McNair and then shrugging to my request that you reach out if we could do more for you seems duplicitous. Now, you don't have to want my help or accept my help, but hasn't the goal of liberation for Charles not changed? Or we still ask, is there something else truly going on? And until Charles is free or otherwise, and until I'm free or otherwise, I will continue to ask these questions. Where is the justice for Charles with empowered response at the grocery store, at the photo op, at the special presentation? Where is the energy for the liberation of people day in and day out? And I think that Charles deserves more than the flip it, like, and I know that I do. And so we will continue to advocate. Who are you seeing overlooked right now in society, Black, brown, or otherwise, Paolo, that you would like to see justice and liberation for in these times?
Jeepers creepers. I would like to see local Black artists, particularly Black musicians, actually platformed. There are a couple shows and things coming up in town that I know of that feature Black artists. However, most of the featured artists or the lead roles are being played by people who are out of state. And we do, there are black people here. Like, there are many Black people here. And so while, again, like, yay, you're platforming Black work, you're platforming Black composers, you're platforming Black art, like, it would also be nice to platform the artist that lives 2 seconds from you. So that's what I'm seeing. And I mean, kind of similar to you, where it's like, the organization talks about Charles sometimes, but they don't necessarily help support the institutions outside that could change Black and brown people's lives. And so this is sort of a similar thing where they're pulling in already, like, super recognized artists instead of programming. And the other thing about the majority of these organizations, because y'all know arts organizations get more money if you say that you have an educational component. Y'all know that, those of you that have written grants, okay, if you know. And so, like, when we're talking about the educational component, and then we're not using local artists who could continuously go into the schools or continuously going into those programs, I sort of have a huge problem with that, because we don't just do the work. Artists don't just do the work for recognition, right? Of which these artists from out of town have, which is why you're bringing them in for attention. But that attention only lasts for a week. It's just like one of those things that just really, really frustrates me. There have been a couple cases here of, I should lift. I think I saw that there is a Black woman running for mayor of Minneapolis here, which would be great. So that's the other story, but I would have to double check on what the name of that person is. But hopefully beating out Jacob Frey, because he needs to go. Jacob Frey. I don't even know how to say his name. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what I got. Okay, this is a funsy. Just hit play. It's just a good time. It says, for those of you watching back or not watching, it says America falls apart and Black people dancing every decade starting in the 1960s. Lord have mercy. I'm live in the building. TikTok said, verify. Lord have mercy. I'm live in the building. I dance on my dance up. You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Where the fans at? Get up by your seat. Let your body move. Cowboys and cowgirls are feeling that groove. Sipping on moonshine, fire barrel rolling. I'ma get behind that thing, girl, and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Got my boots on the ground. Yes, sir. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
I love it.
It was just a funsy. I loved it too. So it's like, why not include it? Everybody needs a giggle.
Like, what are we going to do? Get caught up
Right.
in the bullshit? Like, absolutely not.
Right. I would say my least favorite of the dances was the 2000s. I did not like that one, but the rest of them.
Did you like the 2000s?
I didn't like the 2000s. I would do the rest of them though, you know?
We're heading back into
Threads.
Flawless 920 _ says homophobia is nonsensical. Hummy Crew says be careful with communities that shame people for leaving. Sip and Talk says I highly recommend being quiet. Maybe there's some repost on these. Bo Kuberg says your rage isn't the problem. Your silence is. What say you about that one, Tara? Your rage isn't the problem. Your silence is.
If you don't let it out, your rage is going to eat you alive. It will be like just like sadness, just like any uncomfortable emotion, which if you're like, what are these people referring to? Go to the website, lovedandlovable.bio.link. There are resources there. Go to the emotion wheels, and you can see the list of uncomfortable emotions is a graph. It's a graphic. Okay. But any uncomfortable emotion, if you try to contain it to yourself and it keeps building and building and building and building, what tends to happen is then we have outbursts like that are really bad. Right? Like they're not cute. When it could have been at the initial moment of the uncomfortable emotion, you instead said something which still could have pissed people off, but it wouldn't have been worse, right? Because you're not a teapot getting ready to whistle.
Little teapot, short
Exactly.
and
Have you ever seen what is it called? I think it's called The Perfect Storm, but it's not the movie y'all are thinking of. Those white people out there that y'all have watched, the people on the boat. It's not that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the TNT one where it was like a mini series, and it was a Stephen King book, and this vampire attacks this little town that gets trapped, and there's this girl in it that sings "I'm a Little Teapot," and it's really creepy. And anyway, there's that. So there's my story time. The vampire's name is Linoge, in case anyone was wondering. It's a whole thing. So I agree. let your rage out, folks. Like in a healthy way. Like y'all don't get it twisted, okay?
You
This
don't get it
says,
twisted because they may ship your ass off to El Salvador. Y si habla español, pero es posible that you don't. Okay.
I'm not laughing at this person getting deported. Or kidnapped. I am laughing because yesterday Dr. Flo and I were like talking about an article that he had sent me. And I was like, yeah, this dude is a migrant, but he was illegally deported, kidnapped anyway. And Flo was like, no, he's an American citizen. And I was like, no, dude, like this article says he's a migrant. And it turned out that Flo thought he had sent me an article about a whole different person who was an American citizen and had been kidnapped by ICE. So
a hairdresser, no less, that we still need to make sure is okay.
Right. Exactly. What was his name? Andre? Was his name
name's
Andre?
Andre, yeah, Andray. And let me get the rest of his information because, yeah, there's a judge saying, yo, we need daily reports on where this guy is because y'all are not updating. Trump administration deports gay makeup artist to prison in El Salvador. Andre Hernandez Romero. He's one of 238 Venezuelan migrants who were flown from the U.S. to a maximum security prison in El Salvador. And that's crazy, y'all.
That's crazy.
And the fact that everybody's just sitting around, and that's most of the people that Tara and I know as well, going, that ain't it.
Right.
That ain't it at all. Y'all better find your words and find your resistance. I would say before it's too late, but we're already in some crazy, treacherous fields of gold.
Don't give me the cue. Yes. So y'all, and there's a college student in Minnesota who was taken, I think, I don't remember if it was an apartment off campus. Anyway, was taken. I feel like 10 days ago now, and I'm not sure that we've gotten any information. I got up in the Facebook comments of Governor Waltz. He's still Waltz to me. Okay. I think he says his name Walls. I don't care. Anyway, fix your views on Israel and then we can talk about it and I'll say your name correctly. Anywho, so I got up in the comments and I was like, so like, who can we call? What's the name of this person? So we can like get information on it. And people in the comments were like, people responding to me were like, why would you come here and do that? Girl, is he not an elected official that should be giving us information? Excuse me. Anyway, we're going to move on with this thread.
Weird. I mean, just generally weird.
Like, I was like, you're here in the comments arguing with me who's asking for information to help this person who was kidnapped. And you're telling me that it's my responsibility to go try and find the information that my governor should be giving me.
Once again, y'all attack the wrong people.
Weird.
If y'all actually put all of your vitriol and all of your attitudes, because a lot of y'all got fucked up attitudes. If you directed your fucked up attitude towards people in power who don't want to see you afford life and existence in life, we'd be okay. But y'all like to punch down on people who y'all perceive as weak, like your children and the elderly in your community and shit like that. And that's why I don't let that stand in my community or otherwise, because there's actually things that go bump in the night.
I wanted to say something about the elderly, and then I swear I will read this thread, y'all. In speaking of helping, like doing something that actually makes a difference, in Black Duck, Minnesota, there is a store called the Black Duck Floral and Gift Shop. I love them. I loved the previous owner. There is a new owner. I think she bought it like maybe 8, 10, 12 months ago, something like that. Anyway, since she has owned it, she has twice now, for Christmas and now for Easter, done sponsored. If you go to their Facebook page, I think they took the sponsorship down. But they are sponsoring like 90 seniors and giving them plants for Easter. and it's $20. And I saw this morning that they had filled them. Last I had checked, like yesterday sometime, they still had 12 to fill, but they had filled all of them. And so I just wanted to shout out a company that's like doing some cool things to help seniors feel a little more belonging. And they
want to try these vanilla rum cashews. I got distracted. Shiny marble.
And if you live up there, they do deliver, and they do really great arrangements. I've sent my mom a fair few of those. So yeah,